welcome to Toon Talk. I'm Jen.
I'm Stephen James.
Thank you guys for joining in. So we thought on this episode we would kind of give you a little insight of our life. So last night, I think I might have been scrolling the TV for something to watch. I'm a documentary fan. He is a sci-fi guy. We are total opposites, to be honest. But it works. Music is what we have in common. So somewhere in whatever it was that I was scrolling for, we got into another music discussion. And so in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the era of grunge, which is an era I don't really remember. There is a bit of an age difference between him and I. He was in middle school and I was in high school, and I was not the best student, I should say.
Neither was I.
So yeah, but you were still in middle school. So
yeah, but I used to do dumb things to get kicked, just to get kicked out of school.
Yeah, so my memories of the grunge era are not so great. But Steven, this is his era. This is where he shines.
Yep, this is all me.
This podcast is all about him and grunge.
Well, I just had to recall, back when when I was listening to music growing up, it was a lot of Metallica and Guns N' Roses, which, I'm still a fan of those bands, but the grunge is really where I kind of found myself, where I felt like I fit in. I wore the clothes, I had the hair, the shaved underneath, hair hanging, down past my hair.
The flannel and those baggy shorts.
Flannel, the holy jeans, all, the whole shebang. The whole Kurt Cobain look. So, of course, Kurt Cobain was awesome at that. I loved him at that time. Nirvana, came out with Smells Like Teen Spirit, which they were following up that with Bleach, but Bleach really never made it mainstream.
Did you know that Smells Like Teen Spirit, music trivia, was number 6 on the Billboard charts, 1992? But they were number 1 on the grunge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Billboards. Apparently they had something.
Well, then, the Nevermind album came out. Right. My favorite song off that album was Territorial Pissings. And the reason why I remember...
Pissings?
Territorial Pissings.
By the way, in any of this, you should leave a comment on what your favorite Nirvana song was.
Absolutely.
Or is now. That would be great. I would really like to know.
Just a lot of good music on there.
If there's anything about pissing, I definitely would like to know.
Well, anyway, it was a real fast pump song. You blare, and it's something you flying down the road, blaring that song. My friend Chad, my brother used to have the best parties in the area, and we always went to them. And my friend Chad and me were driving up and down my road, just back and forth with a drop top Jeep, freaking just blaring Territorial Pissings.
Did you have a long road?
It was probably about.
Just wondering how many songs we got through.
Well, we were only listening to the one song. It was just the one song, just back and forth, just the one song. And you were getting pumped and ready to party. It was a good time. We're jumping up and down in the Jeep. Of course I was. He was driving, but still.
And I ran across the Nirvana documentary, and there's a few documentaries out there on Nirvana, but I remembered watching one that was talking about very specifically Aberdeen, Seattle.
The old Seattle grunge scene.
Yeah, and I can't remember now what the studio company was that kind of kicked this all off. And I think there was just like a closet in a warehouse somewhere where all of this really came from. But I found it really interesting. The whole Eddie Vedder story and some of how he thinks and what he does is... I learned quite a bit. I suggest maybe if you're into music, because you're watching this, that you would maybe try and find yourself a Pearl Jam or Nirvana or whatever music you listen to documentary. Because even though sometimes we think we know, I think it's really interesting to get the backstory.
Well, anyway, so then it started getting later into the 90s, and you started having more kind of, the grunge was still kind of going hard, but then you started having like break-offs with like pop rock and like No Doubt and Smashing Pumpkins. Smashing Pumpkins is kind of grunge, but they're still kind of on the other side of it too. So, but they had that melancholy, how you say that?
Melancholy?
Melancholy album.
You just want to say melon.
The like Bullet for my Valentine. Bullet with Butterfly Wings. That song, that opening, the world is a vampire. I mean, that shit was just fucking off the hook. I mean, that was just really good. That was really good. I mean, that was like the best line for an opening for that song. I mean, it.
Well, could you imagine if it was anything else?
And then,
Again, wait. I just have to say this because it's great. So, the world is a vampire.
The world is a vampire.
Again, he's the sci-fi guy. So, anything that's like vampires. What is that show you watch?
I watch Buffy.
Do
How you like me now?
Do you?
Well, I haven't watched. I used to watch it. I haven't watched it in forever. I've seen it so many times that I don't want to watch it anymore.
Okay.
So.
I was thinking whatever that other one was.
What, Vampire Diaries?
No.
Teen Wolf?
No.
Which? Well, I watched
It's
so many of them.
Series.
Yeah, those are all series.
The one that you're watching right now.
The one that I'm watching right
With
now.
the blonde chick. It's a vampire. Or they eat brains.
Oh, iZombie. Those are zombies.
Whatever. It's all the same shit to me.
Yeah, well,
Anyways.
she kind of goes in the other room when I'm watching that stuff.
Yes, I do.
So anyway, like I said, No Doubt, Walking on Spiderwebs. I mean, that first album was just phenomenal. And then you had songs like Champagne Supernova from Oasis. I mean, that song reminds me of rolling down the freaking road in my buddy's cars in the middle of the night. We're driving down the back roads, just hanging out and partying, and just the stars shining, and just listening to that song. And I had to sing through it every single time I heard it. Every time I had to sing that song. And it's really nice because like we go to a lot of places and hang out and see a lot of cover bands, and a lot of these songs are still such good hits today. Such good hits with these bands, and it's always a good time. You're held with your friends and the people you love, and you're just hanging out and you're singing along with the songs. It's awesome.
Do you have any friends who would play Red Hot Chili Peppers? I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean,
I don't know, but I would like to see that.
I've never really.
I'd be interested to see that. I would like that.
I've seen people do Under the Bridge, but I've never seen anybody do like a lot.
Oh, I mean, like, give it away.
Give it away, give it away, give it away.
I mean, that was probably one of the first, I think, if I can recall right, probably one of the first grunge songs. I think just before that, I was listening to, like, Anthrax and Metallica and Megadeth. That was obviously pre-grunge. But I did lead into that a little bit because Anthrax went in with Bring the Noise. Oh no, that had a little rap. That was whatever. Anyways, you know where I'm going with this.
Well, I kind of veered back towards like Guns N' Roses and stuff like that after Use Your Illusions 1 and 2 came out. Because there was, and this was right around the time where the Terminator movie came out, and that You Could Be Mine song in that video, and that mix, that was such a good movie, and that song really hit hard.
I have an issue with that, with the Guns N' Roses thing. I loved Guns N' Roses when they first came out, but if you watched our first episode, my first concert was Aerosmith, and Guns N' Roses opened, and it was bad.
Well,
it was bad.
Speaking,
it was like Motley Crue bad.
Aerosmith also had, that song "Living on the Edge," and Edward
Well, that was
Furlong.
Bon Jovi.
No, that's definitely Aerosmith. And
No, just kidding.
Edward Furlong from Terminator 2 was in that video, so that was really awesome, and that song's kind of stuck with me ever since I heard that and seen that video.
By the way, this is exactly what we did last night. This is what we do. It's just this back and forth banter on music and memories. It's great, actually. I think we need a round table with multiple people, I think,
That'd be a
to
good
do
time.
this, because I think that would be a ton of fun. Maybe we'll get quite a few musicians, and maybe we can all learn something. Or maybe we'll just get drunk. I don't know.
And then you had bands like Offspring, and those were always good tunes. Like "Self Esteem" was such a good song. And then, of course, Jen, if she wants to share with us, has a story of why she connects to "Gone Away."
Yeah, well, obviously when that song came out, I wasn't really in with any music, I don't think at all. I was in my own little world for a while. But I heard it in the car on my way to my friend's funeral. And literally, I just, whatever. You can guess by the look on my face. But it connected with me. And every once in a while, I'll try and sing it karaoke. Just,
That's
Yeah.
such a good song.
yeah. I mean, I sing it in the car almost every day. I sing it today. I am a rock star, by the way, in the car. And I am not ashamed at all. I don't even care. I will roll down the windows and ask my kids. It's a Queen song, whatever. I've had the kids in the car and the chorus or whatever. I would roll down the windows and just scream it out loud and embarrass my kids. They hated it.
I remember after then it started getting later into the 90s, about the mid 90s when live Throwing Copper came out. And you had songs like Lightning Crashes, you had I Alone, Selling the Drama, and that album reminds me of hanging out with my buddies and his mom always picking us up in this Chevy station wagon, the old blue one, the old one looks like the old National Lampoons but blue, and it's got the side, the wood paneling on the side of it. And we were always climbing the back, you open the door in the back, and we're just driving out to his house, and he lived way out in the sticks, and there was a bridge that was.
Was it so long, like you could get through multiple songs?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And there was a bridge that was down by his house that we always hung out. We always go down there and hang out and party.
Did you guys ever jump off the bridge doing the Def Leppard's
not that,
because that's really funny. You gotta say it before you land in the water.
Not that bridge, but there was a bridge in town that we jumped off into the
That
water.
was really dumb. I'm sorry. I'll torture you guys with that.
No, there was a bridge that we would jump off out there, a railroad bridge. We jump off into the water. We'd always have a good time with that. But no, not that one.
I have one that I'm curious about, and I would like to hear comments on this one too. Obviously, there's never going to be another Scott Weiland.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
And, I thought it was really fantastic that Chester Bennington stepped up.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, that was,
absolutely.
I couldn't even imagine being him at the moment and trying to even, I mean, he knew he wasn't filling his shoes. He
Right.
was just temporarily,
Helping, yeah.
whatever, just to get through the shows. But what do you think about Jeff Gutt? Have you heard? Have you watched any?
Well, we went to a concert with them, and Bush was there. That was an awesome concert. But Gavin Rossdale was running through the audience and up on the hill. That was fun. That was a good time. But I mean, if I'm being honest, I think it's entertaining. But I mean, I've seen some tribute bands with some Scott Weiland tribute singers that have kind of hit the mark a little bit.
Yeah, so we've had Big Bang Baby, which is an STP tribute. I believe they're out of Chicago. They are so good. That guy, I mean, he just moves like him. He dresses like him. He's just got this something about him. He does really, really well. But I think, nobody's tried to be Scott Weiland.
Right.
That's filled in. And I really don't know I think it would be offensive. I think if they got another singer and tried to mimic him, I think that would be bad. But I don't know if I like the Chester Bennington better than Jeff Gutt.
Right.
I mean,
I love Linkin Park.
I know. I kind of liked him better. I know. I understand. But man, never forget another absolutely crushing video. And who would have thunk, when they did the video for Falling to Pieces with Velvet Revolver.
Oh, yeah, yep.
I mean, the reality.
That was such...
The reality of that. I mean, if you go back and watch it now, I think it just hits you different. Yeah.
Well, when Chester passed away, just not too long after Chris Cornell, I mean, that was just awful. Such bad.
It's going to be a next documentary I'm on the hunt for. I think I skimmed through one. Maybe it might have highlighted a little bit. Well, because I was watching Foo Fighters documentary today as well.
Happy birthday, Dave Grohl.
Oh, yes, happy birthday.
55.
Yep. But, I was watching that, a little bit of that today, and did hit on Chris Cornell a little bit. We're getting into there.
No, that was awful. But, God, Soundgarden. Another 90s awesome band, Soundgarden. Freaking Black Hole Sun, what was the name of their first album? That was Super Unknown. Super Unknown was the first album.
And I would know that because we have a tribute that comes to the vault. Yep. Super Unknown. Fantastic. I really do hope some of my listeners, if you're anywhere in Michigan, if you take a little road trip to Saginaw on a Friday or Saturday night, you would stop by the vault. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Excellent place.
Yeah, for real.
We always enjoy the shows there.
Yeah.
And Jen works there. If she gets the free shows, I gotta, work my way in.
Unless I work upstairs and then I need a window.
Only when you're in the bottom bar can you catch the good stage there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a phenomenal venue in this area.
Anyways, I didn't want me to get off. What about Limp Bizkit?
Well, Limp Bizkit kind of, I think, I would say Limp Bizkit hit right around the 99, 2000 area. So they were still, but they were more considered new metal.
It's probably when I was getting back into music again because I got married early. I mean, I was pregnant in 94. So I was out of music unless it was like Barney and stuff like that for a long time. I really didn't get into anything until late 90s. I think it really kicked off my music again with Eminem.
Absolutely. Well, because the new metal scene started coming in at the end of because even Stain came out, I think, in 98 or 99 with Dysfunction. And with that song Mud Shovel and Home was my favorite song on that album. But yeah, because that's when the new metal scene, because it kind of split off, where some of it went more towards like Weezer and like pop rockish.
Ooh.
And Buddy Holly.
I remember
Buddy Holly was an awesome video. With that whole Happy Days thing, that was just awesome.
That's probably another TV show that's waiting to get remade. It would be Happy Days.
No, don't.
Come on.
Don't remake Happy Days. You ruin it. There's some things you can't touch, like Back to the Future. No, you never. There's this thing. Some things you just can't touch.
But I bet you watch Back to the Future 2 a lot.
I haven't watched that movie forever, actually. Not. I guess she put in my head now.
We are not watching that tonight.
So yeah, Buddy Holly, Weezer, the whole Happy Days thing, and then I would have to say kind of where it started taking off. Like they went the new metal direction, and then it went the other one direction with the pop rock, and you had songs like Jimmy Eat World in the middle, and which those are all good songs, and I still enjoy hearing those songs from cover bands, because it's still a good time for music right there in the early 2000s, because it's where it started kind of branching out.
Yeah, I mean like Tool.
Oh yeah, no, Sober. Oh my God, it was that freaking video. Do you remember that video for Sober? Did you ever see that video?
I don't know.
Oh, there, I got some homework for her. But there's this, it's like all clay anime.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so and like there's like
Did I?
there's a broken pipe, and there's this thing sliding through, and I'm like, is that a turd? So
we're sober.
But yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest with myself too, because I I'm a singer in a band.
No.
And the stuff that we do is kind of on the classic rock side. The guys that I work with are more, into that style of music. I'm more new metal, late 90s new metal guy.
Kind of ballady.
The stuff that I write is a lot of drop tuning. Ballady, I would say that too. But I kind of found my voice as far as singing with more of those bands like Aaron Lewis and Linkin Park and Chester, and I kind of found a middle ground between the grunge and the new metal scene.
Yeah, again, it was a blur for me.
Well, I'm still kind of there too, because that's all I listen to. I mean, even like a lot of the radio stations here, most of it is like all 90s rock. I mean, you got a lot of new stuff sprinkled in, but even like new metal and a lot of modern metal, like the stuff with more production, like Bad Omens and Motionless in White. They have a lot of that production value in their music, where it's a lot of synth and a lot of beats and a lot of stuff like Post Malone and all them guys.
I don't even know how I know what music I know, to be honest with you. Because I think most people, when they're... how do you find your music?
I listen to a lot of independent artists.
But where do you find it?
Oh, Spotify is where I find all my music.
So this is funny. I gotta tell you this story. So... remember the days of the cassette, right? You'd wake up in the morning and Casey Kasem's countdowns going on, and what did we do? We wait for our favorite song,
Pop the tape.
And record, and then you could stop it. Okay, so then the CDs came out, and I was pissed. I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed. First of all, our cars didn't have CD players, so we had to spend $300-$400. Everything's $500. Troy's gonna love that. You spend $300-$400, and then they got to install this stupid thing. Dukes is always putting on some stupid thing. Sale for your CD changer for your car. And I was like, this isn't ever gonna fly. How are you gonna record your favorite songs on a CD? Mm-hmm. So throughout my life, if I didn't get it for free, I didn't have it. I was so against CDs that I didn't. If it wasn't played on the radio, I didn't know what it was. And if I did hear something on the radio, I would search for the cassette. So me and Columbia House have a history.
Columbia House.
Yes, I'm sure I owe 59 cents still somewhere. But, or a penny.
No.
You get one for a penny? Buy 6, get one for a penny?
Mm-hmm.
But, were you even Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
I've gotten plenty of CDs from Columbia House.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so another one to drop in the comments. Where do you get your music from? Because I don't have Spotify, and I didn't renew my subscription for the crap in your car, so I don't get that free
XM
stuff.
radio?
Yeah, whatever that is. I don't get any of that. So if it's not on the radio, or somebody doesn't play it for me in the car or something, I really don't know.
Well, I mean,
I'm old fashioned, you know. I need to check myself.
I don't. There's bands that I'm still getting introduced to that I didn't even like really know that they were super popular and a lot of people listen to, because I kind of had like the music that I listened to a lot of playlists off them albums. Like you'll have like Breaking Benjamin is my favorite band.
Yeah.
You know, but Aaron Lewis is still my favorite vocalist.
So, I mean, some of the songs just don't. You know, like, I can think of some songs, I'm not going to say what they were because I'll get upset, but, you know, you'll think of a song and be like, gosh, I can't believe I was acting like dancing around or whatever to that song, because now I listen to it and I'm like, oh, kind of puts me in my feels.
Well, I mean,
I need a cry day.
There's a lot of music that's like that, though. You interpret it differently
Yes.
at different stages of your life.
Yes. That's what's so great about music. This is why we wanted to start this podcast. This is what we do almost every single day. And I don't know how many couples, I'm sure there's got to be a ton of couples that whatever it is that they have in common, this is what they do. They just go back and forth, banter about it, and have arguments about it, and laugh about it, and whatever, make fun of each other about it, whatever it is. But I find that music is it's international, and everyone can relate in some way to a song, and everyone has a story or an interpretation, something that goes with it that draws you to other people with the similar feels. And you can create conversations all around it. It's kind of like talking about the weather.
Yeah,
It's a great starter.
Absolutely.
You know, how's the weather? Hey, how's...
Did you hear that one song?
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So,
What do you think about this one?
Yes. So, all that being said, we do really appreciate you guys tuning in to our podcast here. We would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to our page and share it with your friends and hit that notification bell if you would please. And you would be able to get updates and information on our upcoming interviews. And I did totally forget to mention yesterday a big shout out to CM1 Productions. Dave has helped quite a bit with getting some of the information out to us as far as equipment that we needed for this podcast, and he did our logo. So thank you, CM1 Productions, for that, and thank you, Bill, once again for allowing us to use the vault as kind of a bar for us to stand on. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thanks for all the support.
Yes. All that being said, thank you once again from the bottom of our heart, and keep the music playing.